say this, whenever fours come up, nothing is really moving, which is not really a bad thing here. It's not really a bad thing, especially if we're dealing with the Three of Swords at the heart of the reading. And it's kind of strange. Well, I don't know if it is a strange thing, because a lot of the signs have been getting very difficult energy here. A couple got the Ten of Swords there. You know, everyone's dealing with something different, maybe something painful from the past, or this is the week where we let go of it, or we remove it, or we move past it. But that seems to be the message that's coming up for a lot of people. But let's get to your message. So we have Justice coming up as your underlying energy. This is fairness, balance, right? Both sides of the story. How can we compromise here? What can we get here now? Compromise. It's a dirty word for some people, because it's like, I'm not going to compromise on this. And you don't have to. This doesn't mean that you kind of compromise yourself in a lot of ways. What this means is amends can be made. If you're looking to make amends, that can happen when justice shows up. But it is justice through the truth. And it's about accepting whatever that truth is. You know, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, it's about accepting it. But this is about balance, redressing the balance. Now, sometimes we can do that by recourse to the law. So if people have court cases going on or that kind of thing, that's what justice can indicate. It can be that. But that's the kind of underlying energy of this week. But for others, it's just about bringing balance back, especially if things have been out of balance, with Death card coming up in the past there. Now, have a look at what's at the heart of the reading. And the heart of the reading is what we focus on, what everything is revolved around, what we're trying to achieve. And I don't think you're trying to achieve this, but we have the Three of Swords here. And the implication actually is that you're moving towards the Four of Swords. Hear me out on why I say that, because we do have two fours there already. Whenever the Three of Swords shows up, we all walk around with three swords in our heart. We really do, you know, believe it or not. Now, we don't usually know that they're there. And traditionally, the Three of Swords, it's a bright red, healthy looking heart with three swords in it, which kind of indicates that those three swords have been there for a while. The heart's kind of healed over it. Now, we only realize those three swords are there when something triggers that reminder. You know, someone might do something to us, someone might hurt us. And we have that heartache, we have that pain, we have that grief that is associated with the Three of Swords. So whenever the Three of Swords, when it comes up, it's an opportunity for us, yes, to deal with whatever triggered it. But also, what do I always say? We can't change the trigger. We can only change what was triggered, which is removing those three swords. And that's why the guy in the Four of Swords is always having a little nap. Because obviously, you know, he's just removed three swords from his heart. He needs a break after that. So you might be dealing with some, I mean, those three swords, they represent old stories that might not even be ours. You know, our parents' marriage, our old relationships, how we were treated at school, previous jobs. It's the stories that we have. And sometimes it can be self-criticism. It can be the wounded ego, whatever it is. But it's about dealing with that. Now, that might be because this has been an issue for you, or because that's what comes up. I don't see it as coming up this week. I see this as moving past that this week. Hear me out. That's not just me trying to fluff it up and make it sound pretty. We have the Nine of Cups coming up in the present. That's the wish card. I don't know many people that would be able to focus on their wish, unless the wish is get rid of the three swords. You know, that's not what the Nine of Cups says, your heart's desire. And you can only get your heart's desire or know what your heart's desire is if you remove the three swords that are in the bloody heart, right? But let's get to the Death card. I'll get to the Nine of Cups in a moment. Death card, transformation, change, loss. There's been a lot about loss coming up in these readings. And, you know, surprise, surprise, we're in Scorpio season. So that makes sense. But this is the past, last week, last month, last year, whenever. And this can be when there have been things removed from our life, people that have gone from our lives, situation, even possessions, you know, we've lost. I really kind of feel like, think about it. If there's things that have been taken away, and that's what death talks about, it's cycles of death and rebirth. Whenever something ends, something new begins. Whenever something is removed, it's to make room for something new to come in. With justice coming up, if you've been going for a time of everything's been going, I've been letting go of this, I've been doing that, releasing this, I've changed, my situation's changed, where is the balance? Justice says this is the week for that, the week for the balance. If you're focused on your heart, and I can understand, especially if there's been a lot of loss, which that's the implication here, right? That there's been loss, it's caused grief. And that's what death is, right? Death of the, it's not called transformation, it's not called rebirth, it's called death. And that's because even when we want change, it's painful, right? We are creatures of habit. And so with the Three of Swords coming out, this feels like it's grief or loss over what has been lost or what has been changed. Because nothing is ever the same once death has rolled through town. And it's not, it's a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's something that happens. It's transitional energy. It goes on for a while before it happens, but it's in the past, thankfully. What that's left you with now is the opportunity to come up with a new dream, a new wish, to focus on what your heart's desire is. For some of you, that's the balance. I feel like there hasn't been hope for a long time with the Three of Swords coming up here. It's been a focus on what's hurt you or what you've lost or, you know, whatever that pain was that was inflicted here. That grief, that heartache, that pain. But with the Nine of Cups here, I kind of feel like that this is your heart's desire. And I really do feel like those three swords are gone. They're gone. And now that's not to, if you're going through pain, that doesn't mean that, you know, it's just like magically like that and all the pain's gone. It doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is now you can focus on what's around the swords, right? Your heart's there. Your heart still desires something. This is the wish card. And it's almost like your ability to wish or to dream or to have this again. That is what redresses the balance. That's what balances those scales. Now, justice, you know, it is one of the soulmate cards. And what does that mean? It means sometimes we feel like we've got outstanding karma, or there's something that we want to say to someone, or there's some truth or some understanding. Now, when justice shows up, it means those scales are balanced. Those scales are balanced. That doesn't always mean that we deal with that person to balance. And some of you might, you know, that might be what your wish was, to do that. For some of you, it's getting closure. For some of you, it's that feeling that, you know, I'm okay. I'm ready to move past this now. I'm ready to have a new dream. I'm ready to have a new wish. So please don't be afraid to wish and to wish big. I've been telling everyone that. You know, a lot of times I feel like people, when they see the Nine of Cups, they dream, but with limitations. You know, I'm going to dream within the limits of what I think is possible. And no, you know, go bigger than that. Go much bigger than that. So dream big, right? Where does that lead? Well, we have the Four of Wands coming up here. Now, the Four of Wands says you have a great foundation here. You have a great foundation. And believe it or not, and everyone's been getting this, whatever the pain was that you went through, the loss, it's taught you something. It's given you a strong foundation. It's a horrible way to get there, I know. But think about it. Whenever we've been made stronger or sturdier, it's because we've gone through something difficult. And you guys have. And it's given you a very strong foundation. So the Four of Wands is now saying it's time to build on it. Where do I go? How do I build on this? It's leveling up, right? So this can be a house move. This can be a job move. This could be celebrating something, but you celebrate how far you come for sure. For sure. And some of you might be looking at this at the beginning of the week where you're still kind of got a hangover of this kind of energy. You're not quite ready to wish or to dream yet. And thinking, Jay, what the hell are you talking about? Celebrate what? What do you want me to celebrate? There is something to celebrate. The Four of Wands shows that. It does show that. And I get that. I totally get that. With the Three of Swords sat above it, this is something that you never, ever, ever thought that you would do. I don't think you ever thought you'd get beyond this or past this and stuff. But it's kind of strange because it is about moving forward. How do I build on this now? I'm stronger. I have a great foundation. Where do I go from this? So what's your advice? What gets you to the Four of Wands? Yes, the Nine of Cups does, dreaming big. The Four of Cups is your advice. Someone say this to you. This is why I was telling you to dream big. The Four of Cups is when, like, usually we see one person sat there looking at the three cups, right? And they're nonplussed. Even she doesn't look very impressed here. And what the person wants is the magical fourth cup. So I always see this as the Three of Cups, and that is the Ace of Cups. That's what I see the Four of Cups as. So they want this new start, this new beginning, this new emotional cycle to come in. And yet usually the person is focusing on the three cups. Here, she's turned her back on them. And that's what this card is advising you to do. Don't settle for the options that you think are available to you. Don't settle for, just think, trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole. You don't have to do that. But there's another message to it, especially in this deck. Have a look at her. She's looking down at this pond scene in front of her. What do you think she sees? She sees 4 flowers. She doesn't see that cup. She's looking down at that. So she sees 4 flowers. She doesn't realize that the cup that she wants, the beautiful cup that she wants, it's right in front of her. There it is. It's right in front of her. And so I do feel like this has changed your perspective a little bit. Have a look. Like, she stood up. She went to the side a little bit. She had realized that, oh my God, the cup I want is right in front of me. It's right there. But I get it, because it's been so long since you've been in this kind of dreamer, wishing, you know, the Piscean energy. You guys are the dreamer. I always see Pisces as the dreamer. Beautiful. I love that. I think a lot of us lose the ability to dream the older we get and the more that we go through. And you're kind of coming back into that. But not if you settle for things that don't serve you. And if your house is empty and someone's trying to throw out an old sofa, you'll take it, right? But this is not that. Hold out for the one that you want. That's why I always see death as, you know, everything's been removed from a house and it's empty. And it's very easy when you're in that kind of a situation to accept anything that's offered to you, but it doesn't really do it for you. That's why you got the 9 of Cups. You say, no, go for your heart's desire. You did not go through all of this. Try to bring back balance to just accept any old shit that's given to you, right? Because the 4 of Cups is apathy, it's boredom, it's stuck in a rut energy. But you can have that new beginning. Now, sometimes this is because we've given up. We've lost so much, we've given up on ever getting it. But no, there's a lot to celebrate here. And at least start off with a wish. Start off with a wish, Pisces. All right, let's get you some oracle cards. But yeah, 4s, you know, this is that week where there may not be a lot that happens, because there isn't a lot that happens when 4s come up. But it's fine, because there seems to be a lot going on inside you, especially with that Justice card coming up.